9 out of 10 Americans agree that we should have universal background checks. 3 out of 4 NRA members agree we should have universal background checks. Since the Brady Law was initially passed, about 2 million attempts to purchase firearms have been blocked due to background checks, more than half by felons. Unfortunately, only about 60% of our gun sales are subject to background checks because of the gun show loophole. Medical treatment, criminal justice proceedings, new security precautions, and reductions in quality of life because of gun violence in the United States cost us $100 billion annually. The lifetime medical cost for all gun violence victims in the United States is estimated at $2.3 billion, about half the cost borne by taxpayers. More preschool-aged children were killed by guns than police officers killed in the line of duty. Firearm homicide is the second leading cause of death for people under 19 in the United States. And no, it's not the old trope of, oh, it's black kids in the ghetto kind of thing. No, sorry, rural children are more likely to die of gun deaths than urban kids, and they die at a higher rate, a particularly higher rate of gun suicides and unintentional shooting deaths. Youths age 0 to 19 in the United States, rural counties. I just said that. American children die by guns 11 times more often. That's 1,100% more frequently than children in other high-income countries. An average U.S. firearm homicide rate is 20 times higher than the combined rates of 22 countries that are our peers. On average, 31 Americans are murdered with guns every day. 151 are treated in a hospital ER for a gun assault. On average, every day, 55 people kill themselves with a firearm. 46 people are shot or killed in an accident with a gun. In an accident. These are not even the homicide rates. But our homicide rate, firearm homicide rate, is 20 times higher than these other. And if you have a gun in your home, it is 22 times more likely to be used to kill or injure in a domestic homicide, suicide, or unintentional shooting than to be used in self-defense. In the face of all that, Austin Peterson, editor of the Libertarian Republic, thelibertarianrepublic.com, is not all that happy that Chuck Schumer and Amy, his niece, are supporting I think some common sense restrictions on gun ownership. I'd go a heck of a lot farther. Austin, what's wrong? In fact, let's not even take Chuck Schumer's. My suggestion is that every gun should be registered, just like we should deal with guns the same way we deal with cars. That you register it from the time of manufacture until the time of just ultimate disposal, and there's a chain of ownership. You have to pass the title when you sell it. That the owners have to be licensed in order to use them or possess them, and that they have to have liability insurance. I think it's crazy that the 22 kids who were murdered in Newtown got nothing, whereas if they'd been murdered by a drunk driver, they would, Geico would have been passing out $1 million check to each one of them.
Sure. Okay. So, maybe we won't agree on that, Tom, but then let's try and find something that maybe we can agree on, liberals and libertarians. I mean, don't you know that, like, the gun laws that we have in effect right now, I mean, they're not being enforced. I mean, the problem here that we have is that with the shootings that do happen, many times they didn't acquire the gun legally anyway. So the type of people who commit crimes aren't the kind of people who are going to follow the gun laws. So
it's a nonsensical argument, Austin. If we weren't awash in guns, we wouldn't have 20 times the gun death rate of any other country in the world or any other developed country.
But all you're doing is regulating the behavior of law-abiding citizens.
No, we're awash in guns. It's like when I was in South Sudan. Everybody had a machine gun left over from the revolution, basically. When South Sudan separated from North Sudan, and so when a problem erupted, people would shoot each other. There's too many guns. There's too many guns here too. What's the libertarian solution for the fact that there are so many guns in America that and most people who have guns are, as I said, 22 times more likely to either commit suicide or accidentally kill themselves than to use them in self-defense?
Right. Well, people use things other than guns to commit suicide and to harm other people. A gun is a tool. A spoon.
In Australia, when guns were regulated, suicide rates went down. All suicides.
Okay, let me make a point here. Now, the thing is that spoons don't make you fat. The tools are it's the people that are the problem, not the tools.
Spoons are not made to kill people.
But remember, yeah, exactly. But remember, Tom, you love Thomas Jefferson. And Thomas Jefferson said that he would rather be exposed to the inconveniences of too much liberty than of too little. So
Thomas Jefferson was a slaveholder. How you're quoting him on liberty?
But But you're changing the subject there now, Tom. You want to accept that you...
No, my point is that Jefferson was speaking of and to and about an era when slaveholding was considered liberty. And guns were used in Virginia, where Thomas Jefferson lived, to run for the slave patrols. Guns were very expensive. They were very hard to get, and they were very rare back then.
That's the problem with you liberals, is that you believe that rights are only specific to one era, and libertarians believe that natural rights are intrinsic to the individuals.
I don't believe that there is any natural right to own a gun, any more than there's a natural right to own a car.
So you disagree with the Second Amendment?
No, I agree with the Second Amendment that individual states should have militias, and those militias should be well regulated. I absolutely, if you go back and read the ratifying conventions, go back and read the debates about the Second Amendment. It had nothing to do with an individual right to own a gun, and the Supreme Court's saying it doesn't make it so.
Well, the Supreme Court has upheld decisions that were wrong in the past. Certainly not the McDonald v. Chicago gun case, or the Heller versus D.C. gun case. Maybe we're not going to agree on this, Tom. But again, the problem is that you somehow think that laws are going to solve the problem. Well, here's the thing. To your argument about the Second Amendment, this being a time, in the late 1700s, well, does that mean that free speech doesn't apply to Twitter anymore? Can the government, because Twitter didn't exist back then.
Free speech is not designed to kill people. Guns are designed to kill people. That's the only thing that they're made to, well, most guns. The guns that I'm talking about.
Natural rights. We're talking about, guns have always been used to kill people, and they've always been used in self-defense as much as they've been used to murder. The problem is that the statistics that you use are only counting the instances where a violent crime occurred, but there are no statistics for when a gun was used to deter violence.
Because it's extremely rare.
Don't include those.
It's extremely rare.
It happens tens of thousands of times every
And you're 22 times more likely to injure yourself, kill yourself, or commit suicide if you have a gun than you are to use it in self-defense.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter, Justin. It does matter, Austin, because we are awash in guns, and it's costing us $100 billion.
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter because my rights are not subject to your vote. It doesn't matter. You
don't have a right to own a gun.
Are intrinsic. Yes, I do. Yes, we do. All individuals have the right. I'm packing right now. I've got my 40 caliber Smith & Wesson handgun right here on my hip, just in case. We've got a crazy possum infestation out here on the farm in Kansas, and hopefully we're not going to have any more chickens killed, unfortunately. But if I have to defend those chickens' lives, I will. And if I have to defend my own life and of my family, I will. And I hope that you don't have anybody in your family that has ever victimized, Tom. And you're standing there with a kitchen knife. Tom, you guys...
Standing there with a gun, you're much more likely to injure a bystander than you are to save the day. Austin,
you are.
The average person does not know how to use a gun well, and even when they do, look at what happened when Gabby Gifford was shot. There were 3 people with guns there. And
average people don't...
Three people who are expert with guns, 3 people who were licensed to carry guns, and they couldn't get them out in time to do anything. This is not about, it's a stupid argument to say that the more people there are with guns, the safer we are. The more people there are with guns, the more likely we are to die.
Come on now. Tom, timid men prefer the calm of despotism to the boisterous seas of liberty.
What is this? Is this the official slogan of the Small Penis Gun Club?
Oh, now hold on now, because I've got bigger guns. You're going to call me with a small.
No, I didn't ask the size of your gun, Austin.
I have the guts to defend myself.
I know nothing about the size of your gun. Anyhow, Austin Peterson, the libertarianrepublic.com is the website. Austin, thanks for dropping by.
Thanks, Tom.